You get a promotion, you start a business, you lose the weight, you finally leave the relationship that was killing you slowly. And within days, not months, days, someone close to you starts acting strange. Your cousin stops liking your post. Your old friend suddenly has concerns about your decision. A coworker who never said two words to you starts telling people you've really changed. Here's what nobody tells you: that reaction isn't about you. It never was. Today, I want to talk about a pattern that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The people who fight you, criticize you, or quietly try to slow you down are very often not doing it because you did something wrong. They are doing it because you did something right. And it reminded them of everything they haven't done in their life. By the end of this video, you'll you'll know exactly how to spot it, what it happens, and what to do about it without becoming bitter or paranoid in the process. Let's get into it. So in this, I've actually done in sections. So in this one is envy doesn't announce itself. The first thing is to understand that envy almost never says its own name. So nobody walks up to you and says, "I'm jealousy of you." That will require admitting something painful, that they measured themselves against you and came up short. Instead, envy wears a disguise. It shows up as a concern, as feedback, as just being honest with you. Oh, you've changed. Oh, you don't get too big for your boots. Oh, don't get too big for your boots. I'm just worried about you. Or are you sure that's a good idea? None of this sounds like envy. They sound reasonable. That's exactly why they work, and why so many people talk themselves out of trusting their own success, because the criticism is wrapped in a tone of care. The skill isn't learning to ignore or criticize. It's learning to tell the difference between someone who wants you to grow and someone who wants you to stay where you are, so they feel, imagine, comfortable. So in this section 2 is why people attack instead of admire. So why does this happen? Why will someone who claims to care about you respond to you with coldness and instead of celebration? So psychologically, when someone close to you succeeds, it forces a comparison, whether they want it or not. If you are both starting from a similar place, let's say, for example, same school, same job, same relationship status, and you move forward while they still still they stay well they still stay still, your progress becomes a mirror, and most people would rather criticize the mirror than look into it. That's one of the point. Then People build identities around groups. The friend group and that complains together. The family that stays realistic instead of ambitious. When one person breaks the pattern, it threatens the whole group. Unspoken agreement to stay the same. Well, your growth isn't just personal to you. To them, it can feel like you're abandoning them. Yeah. So into the next point, that is point 3. Misery doesn't like solving itself. It likes company. So in this case, someone who is unhappy with their own life will often, or consciously or not, try to keep the people around them at the same emotional attitude. Not because they are evil, because your happiness is uncomfortable evidence that things could have been different for them too. None of this makes the behavior okay, but understanding it strips away the string. It stops being why do they hate me, and starts being I understand exactly what's happening here. Hello, I am. Here is something that surprises people. It's really strangers, but sometimes it can be strangers or even family. But in this, I'll actually speak of more of the family than strangers, because the real resistance usually comes from people who once stood on equal footing with you. The classmate who was just as smart, the sibling who grew up in the same house, the friend who used to say you are the same. When you move past that shared starting line, it can feel to them like you broke an agreement nobody ever wrote down. So, this is why the harshest reactions often come from the people closer to you, not your enemies. Strangers, strangers don't have a reference point to be threatened, but when they see your pace is actually different from theirs, I think they can also feel what they can feel threatened. You know, let's say for example you move into a new neighborhood. You're a stranger in that place, but now you're making moves which they didn't know before. So they'll either react or not react, because now they don't have a reference point of view. So it's hard for a comparison point. Maybe that's what I can say. The people who you know, it's like no, the people who you know, who knew you before, the people who knew you before, yeah, they can be threatened, but not strangers. Now, important disclaimer, because I don't want this video to turn into someone who dismisses all feedback or as jealousy. That's its own trap. Here's how you actually tell real feedback from disguised envy. 1. Does it come with a solution or just a wound? A real feedback says, what could be better? What could be better? And here's how, because it comes with a solution. But envy will attack and leave you hanging. Then number point two, does it attack the person or the plan? Hmm. That business idea has this risk is feedback. Who do you think you are is not. So you can differentiate between the two, because the first one is trying to give you a feedback on the business. Yeah. So instead of someone telling you who do you think you are, um, you know, this voice note I'm doing in reference on what has been happening not along in the streets of YouTube. You will hear critics. Someone is critiquing someone because they have done this or not done that. Yet they don't have what can I say? They don't have a ground. They don't have a ground, or maybe they don't have a base. Yeah. Now to the third, valid criticism tends to show up around your mistakes. That's a valid one. It tries to show up around your mistakes, and envy tends to show up around your wins. So when you win, envy wants to show up, and I've seen that. I have a reference on that. Mm, people are envious because they are seeing you making moves, and they want to attack each and every good thing that you've done, instead of trying to learn from your end. So they think by bashing you out, or attacking you, or criticizing you, they will win. No, they will not. Mm. So if the answer is no, would they say it to your face in a room full of people who respect you? That's my fourth point. If the answer is no, it usually wasn't about helping you. Let me repeat that. Uh, this is about how to tell the difference between um a valid feedback, a real feedback, and disguised envy. Mm. So the question is, will they say it to your face in a room full of people who respect you? If the answer is no, it usually wasn't about helping you, because envious people will not face you. They will not. They'll come in, maybe in pretense. Mm. They run. Uh, they run away from being in the same room with you. So run any pushback thought with the four points that I've given before you decide on what to do. Before you decide on what to do with that. Because once you filter it, it reveals itself for what is actually is. Now into my other section, the cost of shrinking to avoid it. Here's a trap a lot of people fall into. Once they notice this pattern, they start shrinking themselves to avoid triggering it. They downplay their wins, they stop mentioning the promotion, they apologize for their own progress. Well, they they stay queer about the goals they are chasing because they don't want to deal with the comments. So don't shrink yourself when you see, um not even saying, when you're growing and someone is feeling threatened by your growth, don't shrink yourself. Don't shrink yourself, because every time you shrink to make someone else comfortable, you're not eliminating the envy. You're just feeding it in different ways by proving that your growth is negotiable. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Mm. And the people who are never going to be happy for you in the first place will still find something to say, even about the smaller version of you. Yeah. So the goal isn't to become defiant or arrogant about your success. It's to stop treating other people's discomfort as your responsibility to manage. Okay. So, on to I think this will be my last point, how to actually respond. Yeah, I think this will be my last point. So, what do you actually do when you clock this happening? Don't seek revenge. Mm. Because when you trying to prove to someone wrong wastes energy that should be going into your own progress. You don't need them to admit, you don't need them to admit anything. Yeah. So don't over explain yourself. People who are genuinely happy for you don't need a justification. People who aren't won't accept one, no matter how good it is. Save your breath. Just save it, because you don't need to explain to people, or not even explaining, justifying yourself because of your wins. You don't need to. If it's your construction, if you've done projects and it's you're winning, you don't need to. Mm? And also, you need to set quiet boundaries. You don't have to announce every win to everyone. You get to choose who's in the room when you celebrate, because not everyone is for you, is to be is why am I mumbling? Yeah, not everyone in that room um is there to celebrate you. So you uh, need to choose who is there to celebrate with you genuinely. The other thing is keep moving. Don't stop. Keep moving. Mm. The single most disarming thing you can do to envy is to simply continue. Not react, not clap back. Continue. Momentum makes the loudest statement. Songa kasonge, kaende kaende. Mm. Reframe the resistance itself. If someone with no stake in your life starts making noise, the moment you improve yours, take it as a strange kind of confirmation, because it usually means you're doing something worth noticing. Okay? Now, let's bring it together. Opposition doesn't automatically mean you're wrong. Very often it means the opposite. You moved and someone standing still didn't like watching you do it. You've made a step in your life. You've bought your beautiful car. You've built a house, but someone standing still didn't like it. Learn to sort real feedback from disguised envy using the filters I've covered. Stop shrinking yourself to prove comfortable. And when the resistance shows up right after your wins, let it confirm that you already know instead of taking you out of it. Who fights you is often envious of you. Don't get that no, don't let that make you bitter. Let it make you unshakable. If this hit home, subscribe and drop a comment. Has this happened to you? I want to hear the story. See you in the next one. Ciao.